What's up, guys? Welcome back to FishOfHex. My name is Travis. In today's video, we're going to be doing a fish room update. We're going to talk about all the new projects that are going to be going on here with the 300 gallon. Talk about some things that I like and dislike with this system. Also, we're going to be moving over to the frag tank and talk about what I'm removing and revamping when it comes to my imported frags. And also talk about why there is no coral on the website, which is really all kind of tied in together. So let's go ahead and start off with the 300 gallon. Now, I already mentioned in the previous video that I dislike the way that the monos are in this tank. It is what it is. We've already discussed that. You guys can check out the previous video on kind of why and what's going on with them. Now, when it comes to the other thing that I don't like, and that is the corals killing themselves. It's rampant through these rock structures. I've removed colonies after colonies, and I hate it because it really takes away from how the system looks. So, for example, this FishOfHex mill, you guys can see that it's STNing right here. It's been doing it for about a month and a half, and the whole underside is completely dead. It's because it's being shaded. I just removed a big chunk of this rainbow millie. I removed it so it would allow a little bit more light, but it's too late. That colony is going to have to be removed. And the same thing when it comes to this red, or it used to be vibrant red millipora. As you can see, it's white STNing underneath here. On the very top, I'm trying to mess with the camera here and look, it's STNing right there. And then on the sides. Now, we talked about this previously on why it's doing that. The main thing is that it's being shaded from this millipora. That's what's really starting to cause the problems. When it's shaded, it's going to stress the coral out. It gets darker in color. I knew this a couple months ago when this millie got a lot bigger. Let's see if we can get a side view of it. When it started getting quite a bit bigger, you see how much it sticks out there. It's kind of hard to tell which one it is, but it literally shades everything from these radions and those T5s on this one particular colony. And not only was it being shaded, but it was being attacked from the plating, green Monty, the green Digi, the red Fire Digi, and some Zoas. Like I said in the previous video, I thought it was going to get better. I removed those corals that were touching it. Hopefully it's getting better. Ooh, ATO's kicking on. It's a different ATO, so it's a different sound than the old Toonsy back in the day. But back in the day, like 3 years ago. So yeah, that's back in the day for me now, I guess. But anyway, so it didn't get any better. I'm going to have to remove the whole colony. And I probably will do that later today just to save as much as I can. And I want to save a huge chunk of it because of the next thing that's going on with this 300. So we have the display tank here. We have our 40-gallon rimless frag tank for coral sales, which is stupid dirty on the glass, but you know, it is what it is. And then we have colonies of a whole bunch of stuff that I've been pulling from the tank that's either getting shaded, like the Barney Coral here in the back. This guy, it's hard to tell, but I just pulled out a huge chunk of Barney that was right here, of course, getting shaded all to hell. I mean, it was almost dead. So I pulled out that. So what I'm going to be doing is adding a 40-gallon breeder to go right where this saw is. It's perfect. It's exactly 36 inches on this stand for that tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 40-gallon breeder, do my usual setup. I'm going to put a overflow box in it with a 1-inch drain, and then I'm going to do a 1/2-inch return line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plumb the drain into where this 1.5-inch piping is. So we have the tube. I might use tube, I might use regular PVC, I haven't decided yet. I probably will use tube just because it's more convenient. But I'm going to add a fitting and put that 1-inch drain onto there so it will go over to the normal spot on the sump. And then I'm going, geez, I'm fucking this camera shit up today. I'm going to take the return line, which is underneath, you guys can see it's too dark, but it's attached up underneath into that 40-gallon breeder. I'm going to kind of splice it off and put it or 40-gallon breeder, 40-gallon tank, and splice it off to go to the 40 breeder. I might as well start this video over, but what am I, 4 minutes in? I don't give a shit. We're going to let this one roll. It is what it is. So yes, I'm going to have a 40-gallon breeder, which will be just for growing out colonies. I'll probably put some rock in there to make it look somewhat decent, put a fish in there, a tang of some sort to keep it, you know, alive and kind of, you know, not just coral sitting still whenever we have some movement. And then we're going to be adding some Kessel lighting over it because we have the AI primes here and we have the radions over there. So it's going to be nice to have the radions, the AI primes, and the Kessels with the same coral, the same water volume, everything, and then see what kind of growth we get, what kind of coloration, and see if the lights really make that big of a difference. So that's going to be the project for the 300, probably within the next month or so. I say that, but it'll probably be like 2 months because I'll get distracted with something else. But yes, it's in the works. It's going to happen relatively quickly. Now, moving over to the probably have something else to say about the 300. I'll try to remember it. The imported frag system. You guys have been asking, hey, why isn't there a lot of stuff on the website? What's going on? Are you selling coral anymore? As you can see, I am really empty. All 4 of these tanks were packed full just a couple months ago, and I've been selling everything out of it and haven't bought anything. Well, for a couple reasons. One is the summertime. There's not a ton of sales from the imported side of things. When it came to the 300, that 15 frags for $300, that sold like crazy. That pretty much held me over for the summer. And by the way, that's still going on, but it's per request. So if you want that special, you have to email me, because I'm not just going to keep it out there for everybody to drain my frag tank, if that makes any sense. So if you're interested in that, just email me. Anyway, when it comes to the frag system here, I'm going to be removing these 2 low boys. Altogether, I'm going to sell the low boys. So if you're local and you're interested in these 2 tanks, let me know. But all you're getting is the tank, the overflow, and the return line. Of course, the overflow box. I'm going to be taking both of these MP10s and the AP700s and putting them on this setup. So we're going to be running 2 AP700s on each one of these tanks, and MP10 and 1.5 PP8s. This one works. This one works half the time. So we'll also have the MP10s in there. So it'll be pretty good. I'll put all the fish. I got like 4 Scopus tanks in between those 2 tanks, plus a fox face. I'll put all the fish and everything, consolidate it into these 2 tanks, and let's see if I can stop messing up the focus here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm really moving over to growing my own coral and selling it that way. I'm not really interested in really importing coral, taking it from the ocean and going around that. A couple reasons. One, I'm not really interested in taking stuff from the ocean when it could be perfectly grown here. It just takes a little bit longer. Second thing, the profit margin on growing your own coral is much better. I don't have to worry about DOA. I don't have to worry about pests. I don't have to worry about anything. But there is a downside. My 300 gallon is SPS. I grow SPS. I sell SPS from that tank. I'm not going to be putting any zoas or anything else in there to grow and sell. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but for those of you who are new to the hobby, you're not going to buy SPS from me. You're going to buy zoas and hammers and torches and all sorts of shit like that. So I have to at least keep 1 or 2 of these tanks in this setup running so I can have imported coral still to meet the demands of my beginner hobbyists, but then also slowly transitioned over to being only grown in-house. So yeah, gonna just get rid of this tank, these 2 tanks, because I don't need them. I don't need the extra humidity here in the fish room. I could use the extra bucks from selling the tanks to put into maybe salt or something else, so there's no reason to even keep them around. So those are the 2 projects. I got 2 minutes left on this video because it's going to shut off at 10, and that's just, we talked about that before. But so yeah, that's the 2 projects I have going on. We're going to be getting rid of 2 tanks. We're going to be adding a tank for that sole purpose of really growing stuff in-house. I will be getting in some acros from some local hobbyists, putting them through quarantine, of course, and then getting them in and taking care of that. So I might actually purchase like a 29-gallon BioCube and have that be my acro quarantine tank and go through those stages. I believe Jason Fox does the same thing. He quarantines the acros, I think, a couple stages before putting them into his system to grow out. I won't be able to go that route with that many different quarantine tanks. I will do one and observe it for a longer period of time and not add anything else to that tank until they're through quarantine, and then add them to my main display. So that's just going to be my route of doing it, and then we'll see how it goes. And hopefully things will continue to progress for the tank. So I got 1 minute left, and then that's it for this video. 10 minutes is a pretty good cutoff anyways. Other than that, really love this tank. It's a shame that I don't have any more room for other corals that I would like. I do plan on putting that Walt Disney in here, but it's coming to the point where there's not even going to be enough room to put that in there. I might get it. I mean, I might get it and like grow it out in that 40-gallon breeder for a little while, big enough so I can take a frag off, put it in the main display. And if it doesn't do well because it's getting shaded or another coral's an asshole, then we'll be okay. Ooh, I'm blinking. I got 30 seconds. But yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions about the fish room or any of the projects, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, later.